Refuse to pay me for piano lessons? Okay. I'll count every minute and charge accordingly. When I was 14, I was qualified fully in my country in a piano playing performance qualification. I had worked really hard for this and was so proud, my parents too. I was too young to join paid orchestras, and they didn't exist near me, so instead I handed out business cards to residents nearby in a fairly wealthy area and thought I could make some money teaching after school. Teachers in the area were charging €20 per half hour, so I charged €17 because of my age and got very lucky that a few mums caught on and switched to me instead. I quickly had 4 or 5 kids, adults to teach every single weeknight in an area I could bike around. This was roughly €400 every single week due to fluctuations of people cancelling and so on. An hour's lesson was 50 minutes with a short water break and explanation of homework at the end. A half-hour lesson was 25 minutes with explanation and homework at the end. I made all of this very clear and learned it was necessary through time to walk people carefully through homework and exam prep. These parents paid 10 lessons in advance every time, and I kept a calendar and updated parents weekly on where they were at. One parent would always ask for a full summary of all 10 weeks for all 3 of her kids, and I was happy to provide it. Suddenly one week she decided she didn't owe me money for the next 10 lessons until I had made up for lost time. I was obviously very confused and asked her what she meant. She cited the reason that I cut 5 minutes off every 30 minutes and 10 minutes off every hour, so I should teach that extra time before getting more money. Here's the real kicker. Her kids were horribly behaved. They were easily the most spoiled, entitled kids I taught and often said things like, "Since we pay you, don't you work for me?" They were ages 6-11. She had also referred me to a lot of other parents, so I was concerned about my jobs. Because her kids behaved badly and didn't do homework, I always spent extra time on them, 5-10 minutes per week because they needed it. But okay, sure. You want me to work that time? No problem. So I decided to tell this mother from now on I would set a timer and charge every minute on that timer and show her when I clicked it on and off, and gave a huge apology. You can imagine her shock at the end of the 10 weeks when she saw that the kids' combined 30 hours was actually more like 36-37 that she had to pay. She never bothered me about timing ever again and rushed through every homework or exam prep explanation, getting me out of the door. Too long did not read. Mum got what she deserved, questioning the time I was teaching her kids when in fact I had been most generous with them. I made her pay all the hours with a timer. Love that she thought you were responsible and intelligent enough to teach her children a skill, but not keep proper time. Tears of joy. I need to live in a country where 14-year-olds have so little homework that they can work for several hours on weeknights. Glorious. Nice. I can't imagine why her kids were so horrible. Monkey see, monkey do. A pro musician that can't keep time. You were just on rubato time the whole way, they thought. That was sharp. TBH, I would have just walked out with 2 middle fingers in the air. But I guess the money gutted her more. Gotta remember that if I ever came into a similar situation. Brilliant. Good for you. Good earnings at 14. Very impressive. You're a really talented person. Wish you all the best. How long ago was this? €17 is more than what Canada DOJ is willing to pay fresh grad lawyers. Wait, how many people have pianos laying around without the ability to play them? Holy shit. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Haha, brilliant. This is perfect malicious compliance. Love it. Always fun how surprised people are by how much work goes into teaching. I gave music lessons as well, and if the kids were horrible, not interested in learning, I fired them. Not worth my time or their parents' investment. Something I learned from my sister, who also tutors music students. When you're selling your time, don't give a discount if you can charge a little more than market rate. Is this a repost? I remember reading this story before. Just like how Comey's mom and dad now. I've learned to fire those clients immediately. Every time they're not hungry. Sometimes clients need to be fired. For anyone who needs to hear this, do not set your compensation based on your age, ever. Set it based on your skill and experience level. I learned it the hard way by not asking for what I deserved when I was younger. I'm surprised you went on teaching them with their attitude. Did you have a contract of some sort? So get paid for that extra time. I just want to say well done to you, op. You managed your business with respect for yourself and for your client. Excellent. I gotta say, you were a badass 14-year-old. Curious, what do you do now? But she was prepaid. Why not just take the money and walk away? It's usually the worst behaved that you have the most trouble getting money out of. 20 years of providing software services has taught me that sometimes it's better to just cut him off and work with the good ones. It's this weird Karen-like need to be confrontational because if they don't, they feel like they're being taken advantage of. I can smell this kind of customer a mile away in my line of work, and like you, I'm very upfront with them about what I'll be doing and what they'll be charged for. 99% of the time they're fucking themselves over because I typically go above and beyond for the sake of reputation and tips. 14-year-old you is probably cooler than current you. It's people like this where you have to talk dumb and say, I charge €17 for 50 minutes. At age 14, amazing. How old are you now and do you still play piano? I bill by the hour in my profession, too. I find it's always the clients who get the most who feel they get the least. Odd phenomenon. You at 14, so I ran a small teaching business well enough to maliciously comply somebody into submission. Me at 29, hey, let's be 10 minutes late to an online rehearsal. I'm impressed with your work ethic, as I'm sure it's brought you much success and many blessings since then. Great idea, let's question the piano teacher's timing. Mad props for being 14 and 1. Being good enough to teach piano. 2. Being smart enough to hand out cards to the rich. 3. For the timer thing. Love it. You are not merely a genius in the music department apparently. It's always sunny when you have them by the balls and they think they have you over a barrel. Well done on you. Nothing like young people putting entitled parents and brats in their places. We gotta cut the shit with extorting kids trying to make money. As an adult seeing it, and realized it was done to me when I was young, I hate it. Very impressive that you were able to stand up for yourself in such a positive way at the age of 14. You already know how to deal with Karens at age 14. You're gonna know how to carry yourself just fine. You'll do great in life. The irony of accusing a piano teacher of not keeping time. I've totally done the same thing with a few students. I would always undercharge because I'm a nice guy and would account for bathroom breaks and extraneous conversations and stuff. Some of my co-workers would charge for absolutely every second the student was within 100 feet of them. The few times students complained, which I don't understand because I was obviously undercharging, I was more than happy to pull out the timer. Since we pay you, don't you work for me? Is that how it works? Does paying for the extreme speed bundle mean I'm actually the HR manager for my internet provider? Because if so, I have been falling down on the job. Starts frantically writing memos and spamming the company-wide inbox with them. I tutor on the side in 1-hour blocks. I had one student that regularly took about 65-70 minutes, but I let it slide. Then one day after 55 minutes I had nothing left to explain, so I decided to end a bit early. Parents decided to prorate my pay. This was not huge savings for them. I don't charge that much, so I'm not sure why they thought this was a good plan. I never went a minute above 60 with that kid ever again. If we were mid-problem I would start wrapping up with 2 minutes left and tell them they could book another session if they were still in need of assistance.